Shalom everyone, my name is Joe and I'm the Kosher Ninja. I am in Israel because I'm about to embark on the adventure of a lifetime. I am headed up north to start on the Shvil Israel, or Israel National Trail, and I'm going to be hiking through the country from one end to the other. And I'm so glad you've stopped by, and while you're here, don't forget to subscribe. If you're new here, you can also check me out on Instagram and Facebook. And on Instagram and Twitter, it's Kosher Ninja Joe. And on Facebook, it is the Kosher Ninja. And I'll put those links down below. So I've been here for a few days now and running errands, getting acclimated to the climate and getting over jet lag. And so what we're going to do right now is just kind of take a look at what I've been doing, the errands I've been running, and get ready for hitting the Shvil in a couple of days.
Boker Tov, or maybe it's Laila Tov, I don't even know anymore. Yeah, back home, I guess I would be going to sleep right about now. So it's a good thing I slept like a baby on the airplane, because I woke up, well, I went to bed fine at around 11:30, and then I woke up, bing, like clockwork. Every time I go to Europe, it's dinner time, and for the first 2 or 3 days or nights, dinner time, and I can't sleep for the rest of the night. So I haven't slept a wink the last 5 hours, but hopefully it'll get better in a couple days.
Have I lost the tourist look yet? Probably not. I'm headed out now that I've woken up a little bit more than I was already this morning. Headed out to get a SIM card for my phone and to check out a local camping store and see what they're like here in Israel. Finally, I found a camping outfitters. I had a rough start there. I got to Ricochet, which was more of an army supply store, and I think there's another one in this mall that may be a little bit more camping related. I'll have to go take a look afterwards, but this actually looks like I've found the right place, finally. So today, my first day in Israel, was kind of rough. In no small part because jet lag kept me up most of the night last night and I didn't get much sleep. So I was, needless to say, not in the best of shape to run around the city running errands. And but I did have some success, and I'll tell you some more about that tomorrow. But right now I gotta go to bed. So I will see you tomorrow. Okay, so it's the second morning in Jaffa, and I've slept fairly well last night, got a shower, feeling good. Much better than yesterday. So yesterday was pretty crazy, and it's 8 years since I've been here, and yeah, I always forget how crazy this place can get. And if anything, it's crazier than last time I was here, or maybe I'm just older. Yeah, probably I'm just older. But actually that's not true, because in addition to all the cars and the mopeds and everything else, now they've got like these crazy scooters running around the streets. Like, it's insanity. I don't know how anybody would do that and take their lives into their hands, but that's that's up to them, I guess. Yeah, so yesterday, like I said, was kind of crazy. I made it into Tel Aviv, and I learned a few things that probably would be helpful to anybody who's coming to Israel in general, but especially to do the Shvil. So, okay, where should I begin? I found an Israeli outfitters, actually a few of them, after the first place I went to turned out to be an army supply store. So if you're online and you're finding Ricochet in the central bus station, that is an army supply store. It's not a camping outfitters. I did find a camping outfitters. There is La Metayel and a Ricochet, in Dizengoff Center. They're very good and know their stuff. And they also sent me off to a place called Maslul, which is just a walking distance, 10-minute walk from Dizengoff Center. So I would recommend any one of those places if you need last-minute supplies. If you are planning to buy, as I was, a solar power bank or solar charger, I wanted a solar power bank and I could not find one. I'm like, Israel, they must have solar power banks. No, I should have ordered it on Amazon. The final place where I went, which was Maslul, they did have 2 solar chargers, but they were all sold out of the solar power bank, and I'm not 100% certain if they knew what I was talking about. But in any case, so if you want to bring a solar power bank or a solar charger, I recommend bringing it from home. They're also quite expensive. The other thing that I was concerned about was fuel tanks for my pocket rocket stove. So as you know, I'm not actually bringing the stove with me because I do now have the dental appliance that my dentist gave me and it's working like a charm. So I don't actually need it for anything other than food, and I can certainly cold soak my food for this period of time. That won't be a problem. So I'm not bringing the stove, but I was curious because I had read stuff on the internet about how you can't get fuel canisters here without using an adapter. So I specifically went to the outfitters to ask them about that. So number one, most outfitters you can't actually buy camping fuel at. They've changed the laws recently, and because of the restrictions on what they need to do to a building in order to store gas canisters, most outfitters can't actually carry them. So you'd have to go to like a gas station or somewhere else to get your fuel, which I thought was very strange, and most of the people I spoke to quite agreed with me. But one store, the Ricochet in Dizengoff Center, the entrance is off the street rather than into the mall. So they actually did have camping fuel. You can't bring it on the plane, so when you need to get camping fuel when you get here, you can go to Ricochet at Dizengoff, or you can go to a gas station, I guess. I haven't tried gas stations, but they said that they should have them. So that was my first kind of surprise. But the other thing is that the fuel canisters they do have the threaded fuel canisters that work with a pocket rocket, and you don't need an adapter. So that was actually good news. Pardon me, sneeze. Okay. So the other thing that you might be thinking about buying here would be backpacker foods and those rehydrated backpacker meals. I did not find them in any one of the 3 outfitters I went to, and when I asked about them, one of the fellows told me, well, they don't, he understood, was probably the only one who understood what I was really looking for, and he said they don't have those. You won't find them really in Israel because Israelis prefer to eat their food fresh and carry fresh food, even if it weighs a little bit more. So if you want to bring backpacker meals, you should bring them from home. I brought just a few. I think I brought a handful of them just to make sure that I have something lightweight to carry in case of emergency and I can't find food elsewhere. So if you do plan to bring more, to rely on more of those, you should bring them from home. Finally, local transport. That's changed a lot in the 8 years since I've been here. They've just recently instituted a reloadable card system. So I tried to pay on the bus by cash, which is what they used to always do. And the guy just kind of looked at me, and I was like, well, I just got here yesterday. What do you? And he's like, oh, just get on. So I got a free bus ride, which was just as well, because afterwards I finally figured out the card system, and I got a day pass on my card. So really I ended up paying for it anyways. But if you're coming to Israel to do the Shvil or anything else and you want to use local transport while you're here, at the airport when you get here, you should pick up a Rav-Kav card and load it with some money. And then you can use that. Apparently it applies to all the local transport and intercity transport as well in Israel. I haven't tried it on intercity yet, but I've used it in Tel Aviv Yafo and it works. And apparently that's how you get around, and it applies to the train as well, I'm told. So I will find out how that works. But I recommend that you buy that at the airport because you can get the cards elsewhere. The guy charged me 10 shekels for the card, but I read online that it's supposed to cost 5 shekels. So I recommend that you get it at the airport before you even get here, especially if you need to use public transport to get into town when you get here. So that was everything that I learned yesterday after 8 years of absence. And today, my major score, I found the Society for the Protection of Nature in Israel, and I got my Shvil passport. And I was going to show you, but I can't because it's upstairs in my room, so I'll show you later. That was my major score for yesterday. And the other thing is I did get a SIM card, so now I have my phone. I'm accessible to the world. I don't feel so lost anymore. And I did, speaking of lost, I did get lost coming home after jet lag hit me on the bus. I almost fell asleep. But that wasn't the problem. I didn't quite recognize exactly where I was supposed to get off the bus, and so I went for a bit of a detour, but fortunately I know I'm sort of recognize the area where I'm staying because I've been here before. So I made it back to the hostel and everything's good. Boker Tov. T-minus 3 days and counting. Wow. I had another jet lag induced sleepless night last night, but hopefully I can make it through today. I'm also running out of clean civilian clothes to wear, but today I'm just going to hang out and do some more video editing. Boker Tov, everyone. I am enjoying my breakfast, Israeli style. And it's T-minus 2 days and counting. I still lost a little bit of sleep last night to jet lag, but doing much better. And today I have a long day ahead of me because I have to head into Jerusalem. And as you can maybe see, or maybe not, I'm dressed in my hiking clothes because I'm all out of clean civilian clothes. I was kind of pushing it yesterday. And the purpose for my trip into Jerusalem today is to drop off all my civilian stuff at my friend's place. And that's it. All I'm gonna have is my hiking stuff with me from now on for the next, several weeks at least, until I can get back to Jerusalem for resupply. So this is it. So I'm off to Jerusalem to take my civilian stuff to my friend's place. And I don't know if you can see all that, but the hilarious thing is I never travel this light, but even then I still have 4 bags, which is really crazy. So if you're as excited as I am about my adventure, give me a thumbs up and subscribe and share this video with your friends. And if you have any questions or comments about my adventure and my plans, you can check out my earlier videos or leave the comments and questions in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you've ever hiked the Shvil Israel or anywhere else in Israel, I would also just love to hear from you. So this is it. It's on. And I just can't, I'm so excited to share this journey with you, and can't wait to see you again next time. So until then, thanks for watching, and shalom, eh?